Good morning, students. I am Ms. Republica Borgohain, Assistant Professor, Assam Downtown University, Guwahati, Department of Pharmaceutical Science. So here I will be discussing about the marasmic kwashiorkor disease. A severely malnourished child with features of both marasmus and kwashiorkor. The features of kwashiorkor are severe edema of feet and legs and also hands, lower arms, abdomen and face. Also, there is pale skin and hair, and the child is unhappy. There are also signs of marasmus, wasting of the muscles of the upper arms, shoulders, and chest so that you can see the ribs. That means, in case of kwashiorkor, edema of feet means there is the accumulation of water in feet, legs, in hands, in lower arms, abdomen, and face, and the skin appears to be pale or whitened, and the hair also becomes whitened, and the child becomes unhappy for this deficiencies. In case of marasmus, the wasting of upper arms means the upper arms and the chest portion and the shoulders, it becomes so thin that the ribs can be seen. So now the nutritional dwarfing or stunting. This is another disease that some children adopt to prolonged insufficiency of food energy and protein by a marked retardation of growth. So nutritional dwarfing or stunting, it is occurred in cases of some children due to the prolonged insufficiency of food energy and protein, and therefore their growth it retards. Weight and height are both reduced. That means in this case, the weight cannot be increased and the height also never increases. And in the same proportion, so they appear superficially normal. Then in case of underweight child, children with subclinical PAM can be detected by their weight for age or weight for height, which are significantly below normal. They may have reduced plasma albumin. They are at risk for respiratory and gastric infections. So now I'll be discussing about the biochemical and metabolic changes that occurs due to these disorders. So the biochemical and metabolic changes. So significant findings in kwashiorkor include hypoalbuminemia, that is 10 to 25 gram per liter, then hypoproteinemia, that is transferrin, essential amino acids, lipoprotein, and hypoglycemia. Plasma cortisol and growth hormone levels are high, but insulin secretion and insulin-like growth factor levels are decreased. The percentage of body water and extracellular water is increased. Electrolytes, especially potassium and magnesium, are depleted. The levels of some enzymes, including lactase, are decreased, and circulating lipid levels, especially cholesterol, are low. Ketonuria occurs, and protein energy malnutrition may cause a decrease in the urinary excretion of urea because of decreased protein intake. In both kwashiorkor and marasmus, iron deficiency anemia and metabolic acidosis are present. Urinary excretion of hydroxyproline is diminished, reflecting impaired growth and wound healing. Then these are the biochemical changes with kwashiorkor which I discussed in my chart. So this is the chart for the urine, blood, hormonal and electrolyte cases. So now comes the treatment. How we will be overcoming these types of disorders. So treatment strategy, it can be divided into 3 stages. So first one is the resolving life-threatening conditions, then restoring nutritional status, thirdly ensuring nutritional rehabilitation. So there are 3 stages of treatment. First one is the hospital treatment. The following conditions should be corrected: hypothermia, hypoglycemia, infection, dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, anemia, and other vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Then secondly, the dietary management. The diet should be from locally available staple foods, that is inexpensive, easily digestible, evenly distributed throughout the day, and increased number of feedings to increase the quantity of food. Then rehabilitation means the concept of nutritional rehabilitation is based on practical nutritional training for mothers, in which they learn by feeding their children back to health under supervision and using local foods. Now comes the prevention. First one is promotion of breastfeeding, then development of low-cost weaning, then nutrition education and promotion of correct feeding practices, then family planning and spacing of births, immunization, food fortification, early diagnosis and treatment. Thank you.